What's going on, guys? We get the same question time and time again. Can we wholesale mobile homes?
Of course we can, and we're going to share with you guys our Facebook Live training where we go into 3 different case studies of wholesaling mobile homes, so stay tuned.
And for the best mobile home investing advice, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of videos we post every week.
Welcome. We are on Facebook Live. It's me and Jay, Jay and Samira, and we are going to share with you guys some information about mobile homes, wholesaling mobile homes, and some case studies of some of the deals that we've done in the past. And hopefully this inspires you guys. Hopefully you guys will be able to connect the dots and really see the power of wholesaling in general, and especially with mobile homes because they're so fast. And we just have had such great success doing it, right?
Yeah,
Jay?
exactly. We know a lot of you are in this game to get cash flow and you want to fix and flip homes, which is really, really cool. But the reason we like this so much is because wholesaling allows you to just raise your capital up, get revenue, so that it makes it a lot easier for you to do those buy and holds down the line or those fix and flips. And you're not becoming cash strapped, right?
Exactly. And there's a lot of benefits to them. We're going to go into it in just a minute. But let's jump in. For those of you guys that are brand new to real estate, brand new to mobile home investing, you might be thinking like, what is wholesaling? Why is everyone so excited about it? So Jay, did you want to explain the 3 different parties that are involved in a wholesale deal?
For sure. So when it comes to wholesaling, you always have a seller on the front end, and our seller is usually motivated. They have to sell the home for some type of reason, whether it's sickness, whether it's moving away to a new job, moving in with a family member. There's usually some sort of motivation there. And then there's usually you as the investor and the wholesaler. We're going there, we're solving their problem, we're getting the property under contract. And then as always, you're going to have a buyer. You got to get paid, right? So what we're doing is assigning our interest in the contract to our end buyer. Samira, how long does this usually take us on some of our best deals?
So the closing process is really fast. I mean, it might take about 20 minutes, but we're able to do a lot of these deals from beginning to end in under 30 days. We're, of course, going to show you guys some case studies on some of the deals that we've done. But let's just break this down a little bit further. I know some of you guys will start to click once you guys see the numbers. So let's just say that there is a motivated seller and they have a home that's actually worth $20,000, but they're motivated for some reason. Maybe they have to move, maybe there's a death in the family, there's all types of reasons they would be motivated. So they need to sell their home fast. They need to get rid of this problem. And so they agree to sell it to you for $10,000.
I know a lot of you guys probably are thinking like $10,000. No, you'd be surprised. Sometimes you'll get a home that's worth $20,000 and you'll end up getting it for $6,000 or $7,000. Motivation is key. Again, we're going after sellers that have a ton of motivations. And if at any time you guys don't understand what's going on, be sure that you drop the questions in the chat area, because at the end of this, we're going to come back and make sure we get all the questions answered. So just drop your questions in. We're going to have a short Q&A at the end of this as well. So let's get right back in.
So they agree to sell you the property for $10,000. So what do? You get it under contract, and then you go and you find a buyer that agrees to actually pay $15,000 for the home, because they're saying, hey, this home is actually worth $20,000. I have $15,000 cash. This is a great deal. I'm willing to jump on this opportunity. So what do? You put the deal together, and for being the middleman, your fee is a $5,000 fee, where you're putting the deal together. You're taking the $15,000 that the buyer's paying, you're paying $10,000 to the seller, and you're keeping $5,000 for yourself as a fee. So hopefully that clears it up, what wholesaling is. You're never like really making repairs or anything like that. You're just connecting a buyer and a seller and taking a fee.
Do we ever disclose our fee to the seller and to the buyer, for that matter?
Yeah, sometimes we do. There's situations where we'll disclose, and those are more like brokering transactions when we actually disclose our fee. But we do disclose the fee sometimes and let them know, hey, we're going to be listing it for this price. That way everyone's in the same loop. They understand that you're going to get paid for your services and for your time and effort of finding a buyer. Depends on the fee though. If the fee is, double or even as much as they're getting, then no, we wouldn't disclose that because you're going to have some angry sellers.
But typically, you know, just starting out, you can easily expect to see somewhere between 2,000 all the way up to maybe even 6,000-7,000 on some of your first few wholesale deals.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. So let's move on to, I know some of you guys are thinking like, okay, what's the benefit of doing this? I know this is a new strategy. So
let's some of the pros.
Talk about some of the pros. Yeah. So Jay, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So the first pro is these deals are very, very fast. We can get these deals done in 30 days or less. Guys, when you start doing these deals, you'll start to see that, you know, you're going to have a lot of buyers on your team. You're going to be able to get to these buyers fairly quickly. And the more buyers you have and the more homes that you have to connect them with, you'll be able to get these deals done extremely fast. We're talking in minutes. Some of our deals are done in. And then let's get to the next one. The next pro is little or no money required. So a lot of you guys are starting off and you're saying like, to me, it's the head trash if I don't have a bunch of money. That's totally fine. That's why there's the wholesale option where you can use very little or no money. A lot of the time, we're not using any money for our deals.
Exactly. So for those of you guys that maybe don't have a ton of money to put into a property, pay for repairs, pay for all of that, this is a great opportunity to still flip homes. You're just really providing a service and connecting to people and playing middleman and taking money in between. Minimal risk, right, Jay?
Absolutely.
Because you don't have, you're not actually purchasing the property. You're not spending money on the property. You're just connecting the buyers. You're getting the property under contract and you're selling it before you ever have to buy it. So minimal risk. Again, you need little or no money.
You're not on the hook. You're not on the hook for any type of repairs. You're not on the hook for any lot rent. You know, the owner of the home is the one paying the lot rent in the majority of these cases. So very, very little risk. Again, you're just leveraging your time.
No tenant issues. I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to deal with it.
You're never a landlord anyway.
We don't use that strategy.
Even with buying homes, we're never landlords.
Right, but we still, you know, even you know, when you're collecting payments from someone, there is issues that may come up. You don't have to deal with that with this because it's just a one-time transaction. You're connecting them and then you're out of the way and out of the deal. No repairs. We talked about this. You're not fixing the home. If the home needs repairs, you're selling it at a reasonable price still that is still below market value so that someone would want to come in and fix up those repairs.
Again, no lot rent. When we're wholesaling homes, you're not worried about putting, you know, a lease agreement into your name or a storage agreement. I've gotten some emails about that. Like, you know, hey, I'm wholesaling. Should I sign a lease agreement or storage agreement? Neither one. We're wholesaling the home. Again, the owner of that home is on the hook until the home is sold. Now, I will say this, if a buyer is looking to move the home out of the community, now there's some paperwork they're going to have.
Right.
We're not going to get into the paperwork in this video because there's a lot of fine print you want to get into. We got you covered if you guys are in our accelerator program, but be sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's or you can get yourself into some legal trouble as well as that seller. And we don't want to do that.
Exactly. So that's a whole different strategy for a whole different day. But traditionally, you're not going to have to sign any lease agreement or contract with the park, and you don't have to pay lot rent. No credit needed. Again, you're not signing any lease agreement or storage agreement. You're not leveraging debt or anything to buy the home. It's all based on contracts. It's all based on being the middleman and using that cash buyer's money to purchase the property.
Yeah, and then profits, man, you can expect profits ranging anywhere from $2,000 all the way up, $20,000. We have seen plenty of investors. That's how we understood. That's how we came to know about wholesaling, because our mentor was wholesaling homes and then selling them to owners out in California and making $21,000 on these deals because they don't know how to find homes out there for that cheap of a price. And that's where we come into play. So.
Yeah. And 20,000 is not the cap either. I mean, we've seen people do more, but in a good range, you're making somewhere between 2,000 to 20,000, which is great for being the middleman and not spending much money at all.
But for all the pros, you know, there's always some cons in there. So we at least want to touch on the cons. Again, we don't let these hold us back, but let's get into them. So the first one is cons. Whenever homes are occupied, meaning someone is living in the home, you're going to have to leverage a little bit more time. You're going to have to do showing. So if you guys are familiar with being a realtor, real estate agent, a lot of them are showing homes. So you're going to have your time dictated by when individuals can actually go and see the home, usually
Mm-hmm.
after work, right?
Yeah, and you know, just scheduling that with the buyers and the sellers. I know, especially when we first got started doing these types of deals, you get so frustrated if you know, drive across town to go show a home and the buyer doesn't show up, or you know, you're working around the seller, you're trying to keep them separate because you don't want them to know what your commission is. So those can be a little tricky. We do have some strategies to kind of, you know, work your way through that without having so much stress. But it's really about building trust with the seller in advance, so that they don't feel like you're somebody creepy in their house showing them other people, you know, other buyers your home. But that's one of the cons that we don't necessarily love about wholesaling homes, and if they're occupied. Another one is the profits are typically less. So if you were to make some of those repairs and bring it up to the full market value, you're going to get more money for the home. So you're you know, taking a discount on your commission, but you're doing less work. So I mean, if you're about, you know, trying to get those big wins and, you know, get you know, bigger checks, a lot of times you're going to be taking a smaller cut of the deal just because you're not doing the work and you're not taking on so much risk.
For sure. Let's get on to the next one. The next one is getting buyers approved. So whenever you're wholesaling and a buyer wants to actually live in the community, that's perfectly fine. It's just, you know, adding more time to the table, getting them approved, going through that whole process with the park. Our favorite ones are when they have to be moved. They're a lot faster. Just understanding that some park managers take a while to approve buyers. We had to wait almost 12 days for one of our buyers to get approved on a wholesale deal. So it just adds more time onto the deal.
Yeah. And you know, just trying to work through that can be a little bit time consuming, can be a little bit challenging. This strategy is not the best strategy for long-term wealth. If you're looking to, you know, get paid long-term for these properties, you're just not happening. You're trying to make quick, fast cash. You're going to get in and out. So you're going to always be chasing that next deal. If this is all you're focused on, you're going to be looking for the next big win. And it just doesn't last that long.
And the next one is some states consider this brokering. So you always want to check with your state laws when it comes to mobile home investing. Again, some states out there shun on this and they'll consider it brokering, which means not necessarily bad. You just have to get your broker's license. It's typically easier than getting like a real estate agent's license, anything like that. But just make sure that you understand the law in your area.
Yeah, and just make sure that you understand, you know, what's the difference between brokering and wholesaling, and that way you're not getting in that sticky line of the difference. And with brokering, it's not a bad thing. It's just that you're going to have more paperwork, more disclosures. Now you're acting more as a realtor than as a investor. So just to keep that in mind. All right.
So let's get into our first case study. We're talking about a wholesale deal where we had our buyer, but he actually had land for this home. So we want to get into the details. We got a few pictures of this home. So this was actually a 1986 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. As you can tell, it's in great condition. This home didn't need any type of major repairs. Very, very cosmetic, light work. The owner of this home, he actually needed it moved off of his land. He was actually expanding his family. So he was looking into moving this home off the land so that he can move a double wide onto the property. And the dealer that he was working with, because it was a 2-2, he just didn't want it. He didn't want to buy it from him. So he got a great deal, but the biggest part of the deal is, you know, he had to move the home off of the property. And with this home, he actually needed it moved off of his property in less than 30 days in order for him to get that locked in deal that he had with his double wide.
Yeah, and this was a great home. Like, it really didn't need much repairs at all. We walked through it, we're like, yeah, this is a nice single wide. It's, you know, a little bit older, but for the year, there was really nothing wrong with it. So we were like, this is a great opportunity, but we knew he needed it moved. So we said, okay, so let's go over the numbers. We agreed with the seller that we would actually purchase his home for $7,000. And then we turned around and we found a buyer that needed a home similar to this, and we agreed to sell it to him for $12,500.
Now, he felt really good about this because we found similar homes at the time were going for somewhere around $16,000 all the way up to about $18,000. So, you know, as soon as we put it on the market, he came with cash in hand. We had to tell him, hold on, buddy, let's get a cashier's check.
He was ready to pay cash. He was like, let's do this. And, you know, he had a big vision for this. He had land that he's actually looking to put multiple mobile homes on and rent them out so we can make long-term cash flow. flow. So he was like, this is I don't have to do much work. It's easy to move. This is a great price. It makes sense for what I'm trying to do. So he was jumping all over this opportunity. So we were able to create a $5,500 wholesale fee by connecting this motivated seller with this buyer that really wanted a home, that was getting a discount on the home. And this whole deal took us 3 days. Yeah. 3 days to complete, and we had cash in hand. Now, it took him, a little bit longer to actually move the home and do that whole process. But from the time we had an agreement with the seller, an agreement with the buyer, and us collecting our fee, it took 3 days.
Yeah, and it's always helpful, guys, to at least network with other movers in your area. It helps the deal go by a lot faster. So with this particular deal, we actually got him hooked up with one of our movers. So he didn't have to worry about anything. Now, we didn't manage the entire move. We just, we're in charge of selling the home. But with our movers, we actually have a great relationship with them. They've moved a ton of homes for us, and they're the ones that's actually managing that project. But it just helps everything go a lot faster when you can help them out and get them a mover, because a lot of the time they're not in the loop. They don't have anyone to do this.
Exactly. So it was a win-win for everyone. We were really happy to make $5,500 in 3 days, and we didn't have to do any repairs, lot rent, none of that stuff. So let's jump into case study number 2. So this is actually the buyer was a tenant buyer. He actually wanted to live in the property, so he wanted to show this to you. This one stayed in the park.
Yeah, so with this home, it was actually a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. This was a 1986. This one did need some work to it. It wasn't really major, but there was a lot of cosmetic repairs. You can't really tell from the pictures, but it did need some work. It wasn't in the best condition. The seller of the home was actually looking to move to Wisconsin with her daughter. Her health was declining, and although she loved her home, she knew that she needed some help. She was getting really stressed out, though, because her cash was dwindling. She only had about 2 months left worth of lot rent. Yeah. So she's like, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I need to sell it fast. Our buyer, he was actually in the market to buy a single family home, but he got declined once, and wasn't his lease about to expire?
Yeah, his rental lease was about to expire, and he was actually a contractor. So he was like, hey, this is a great starter home for me and my family. I don't have much time either. I have to be out of my rental within 30 days, and I can definitely fix this up. I can make this what I want it. It has the space I need, and it's in the location that he wanted to.
And I want to take a quick moment to pause and just let you guys think about this and the value that we're bringing to the marketplace. You're talking about somebody that was, in a stressful situation, 2 people in a stressful situation. The owner of a home, she's stressed out. She doesn't know how to sell the home on her own. She tried to sell it to the park, but the park only offered her about $3,000 for it. And she's like, man, I know my health is declining, but I'm not trying to just give the home away. And then our buyer, he's just, got disapproved from a home. He went through months of going through that entire process just to get, denied. And he had multiple kids, so he needed space. And that's why we say, what you do really matters out here, because you're still supplying a need. So, the manufactured home, it wasn't exactly what he wanted in his dream house, but he loved it because it still gave him space. It was very affordable. He was saving money versus the rent that he was paying. And this gave him a chance to get on his feet, so that, in the next couple of years, he'll be able to more than qualify for that next house. So It's pretty cool to bring this type of value to the marketplace.
Exactly. So let's run through some of the numbers. So we agreed with the seller to purchase her home for $12,500. And then the buyer, he agreed to purchase it for $16,500 as well.
And again, he was really happy because homes like this in really good condition, not the best condition, just good condition, those were going for $25,000, $26,000. So we're all about speed, and it worked out. We didn't want to use any of our money to do this deal. We just wanted to get paid for leveraging our time. He was really happy because he was buying a home at a discount for $16,500, but a wholesale price versus a retail price.
Right, and that left him some room to put in some repairs. He could do the repairs himself, and he was saying, yeah, in a couple years, I can resell this home and make a little bit of money, and that can help me, put that back into a down payment for a bigger home. So we were able to create a $4,000 wholesale fee by putting this deal together, and it took about 9 days to get everything wrapped up. She needed a little bit more time to move, but by the time we had an agreement with her and an agreement with him, and it only took 9 days for all of that.
Yeah, it worked out because the park, you know, they were slow as like molasses with getting him approved anyway. So everybody walked away at the table happy. We actually disclosed how much we were going to make on this deal from the seller side and the buyer side, and they were perfectly happy with it because they both had a need. You know, we even had them meet each other. They knew exactly what was going on. Everybody walked away.
They were all happy because we were able to solve their problems. They both needed a solution really quickly, and we were able to provide that and connect them. So,
but there's also solutions that are needed for investors. So regardless if someone is trying to buy a home and move it to their land, or someone trying to buy a home and live in the community, there's also times that you guys are going to face where investors need homes, and you being an investor, you're able to not have that scarcity mindset, but say, hey, let's partner up together and let's just make some money.
Definitely. So this deal was a really cool one. This was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It was in 1996. And this home was in pretty good condition too. It needed just minor cosmetic work, nothing major. So
the seller was actually moving to Las Vegas. He just got tired of Phoenix and just wanted something new. So it's really cool to be able to help him out. And how did we get in contact with this investor? What was the investor needing?
So we connected with another investor. They had a good buyers list, and they had a buyer that was actually looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in the same location. And they were like, hey, you know, we really can connect the dots as well with this. We can bring them value.
Now, we could have done it ourselves, but in this part, man, this park is it's in North Phoenix, and they're very, very strict about the credit score. So they want people to actually have around like a 675 credit score. And we just don't tailor to those type of buyers. So we knew our buyers list wasn't that strong. We're like, man, you know, first of all, we don't want to buy this home. It doesn't need repairs, but we don't want to get stuck paying this lot rent for 2-3 months trying to find a buyer. And our investor, that's who he caters to. He had a ton of buyers looking to move into this home, so we were able to partner up and create some value in the marketplace.
Yeah, definitely. So let's run through some numbers on this one. So we agreed to purchase the home from the seller for $9,000, and he was happy because that could get him to Las Vegas. That could get him to where he needed to be, and it was a quick sale for him. So he was happy with that. So the investor, which was our buyer in this situation, he actually took out cash to make this deal happen. And he paid us $17,000 for the home. So we were able to get an $8,000 wholesale fee, and he was still able to make some money on top of that, right, Jay?
He made about $9,000, I think 9 or 10 grand on it. We saw other single wides, same year, same condition, going for easily 30 grand in that park, and he knew it didn't need any repairs. He knew his buyers were ready to go. He even had some buyers that were already living in that community, just looking to get something, upgrading to a newer home, just something. This is considered newer in our market.
Yeah, and so you might be thinking, like, why didn't you guys just sell it for $27,000? The reason is this took us one day. This took us literally one day. We literally met them, got everything taken care of, and made $8,000.
And when you're super clear on your goals, you're not just, you know, chasing after the next deal or the next money grab. For us, it was pretty simple. It's like, hey, we need to have enough cash flow that we can leave our jobs. When cash flow deals come in, let's continue to build cash flow deals. But in the meantime, let's use these other deals that we're getting to still fund our life, but to do the things that we want to do, which is travel, spend time with each other, spend time with our family. And that's why we tell everyone, just be really, really clear on your goals, because you don't want to get into this mobile home game. Even though these deals are very fast, they're fun, you don't want to just get caught up in chasing money, because after a while you'll figure out that you just created another job.
Exactly. So for us, we were like, hey, if we can get this all done in the same day, walk away with $8,000, he can deal with the park approval, he can deal with all of that, he should be paid for that as well, and we didn't have to deal with any of that. And he got paid very handsomely, so it worked out for everybody. So
we want to know, I know that was a lot of information. We want to know, are you guys getting this? Please comment yes below. If you guys have questions and you guys are on right now, we're gonna have time to answer those at the end, but at least let us know that this concept, you guys are understanding this. Again, regardless if you're working with an investor, a buyer that wants to live in a community, a buyer that needs a home for their land, we're just trying to get you guys to understand that wholesaling is very powerful. And when you're in certain markets, like here in Phoenix, there's a market with buyers that have land that nobody's even touching. We'll put a home like any of the ones you've seen on the market right now, and sell it within minutes.
Yeah.
Because no one is serving this market. It's completely underserved.
Yeah, and it's all about your buyers list. If you have a very strong buyers list and a lot of them are willing to make repairs to the home, as long as they're getting a good discount on it, that is the perfect recipe for a wholesale deal, because that allows you to just connect them with other people that are looking to sell quickly.
And we're not telling you guys like you guys should be just wholesaling deals. We teach 5 different strategies in our course. This is just one of them. But we always say like, hey, you know, this is a great way for you guys to raise some capital on your own just by leveraging your time. Because the worst thing you want to do is partner with someone just to use their money, and then you find yourself working for them.
Exactly.
And they're getting paid, you know, off of your labor.
So we hope you got a ton of value out of our 3 case studies of us wholesaling mobile homes, but you can't do this if you don't know how to find your next deal.
That's why we created Trailer Cash Academy's 90-day accelerator program. In this program, you'll work exclusively with us, and we'll show you how to close more deals with mobile home investing. Some of our students are earning anywhere between $5,000 to $20,000 per month closing more mobile home deals. If you're interested, be sure to apply at the link below this video. And as always, if this video was helpful, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of videos we post every week.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.